Hallo und herzlich willkommen zurück zu Game of Thrones mit mir Lilith von Doppel-DLP.
Und dem Definite.
Genau, in der letzten Folge haben wir den neuen Lord gespielt und wir mussten zwischen dem Haus Bolton und den Forestern ein bisschen verhandeln. So dass halt ja kein großer Streit entsteht. Ja, wir mussten ein paar wichtige Entscheidungen fällen und dieses Mal wird Daphnis spielen.
So, dann würde ich mal sagen, machen wir weiter.
Your sister can help us. Although just a handmaiden, she has Marjorie Tyrell's favor. And Lady Marjorie's betrothal to the king may be enough to keep the Boltons at bay. If it's presented to her as it should be.
So wie es aussieht, spielen wir jetzt die Schwester, die nicht mehr bei den Foresters lebt. Dann schauen wir mal in die Holzbox. Eisenholzbox. Ein Brief. Ein paar Münzen.
It was very kind of Lady Marjorie to give this to me. It once belonged to Lady Olenna.
Es scheint so eine Brosche zum Einstecken zu sein.
Ethan made this for me.
Ah, Ethan. Ethan ist ja der neue Lord.
Asher sent me this coin to remember him. What a strange place, Essos.
Also in der Truhe sind ganz schön viele Sachen, die sie an ihre Familie erinnern. Würde ich sagen, lesen wir mal den Brief.
Father, much excitement here in King's Landing for the coming wedding. Lady Marjorie has proven to be quite popular throughout the city. I do wish you and Mother could come, although I know it would be impossible under the circumstances. I miss all of you, and I look forward to the day you can.
Schien wie ein Brief, den sie an ihre Familie schicken wollte. War nie zu Ende geschrieben hat. So, hier haben wir ein Buch. Das die Old Tone. Ein Fenster. Noch ein Brief von unserer Mutter. Wir sagen, schauen wir erstmal das Zeug hier an.
Wonders Made by Man by Lomas Longstrider. A gift from Roderick.
Ein Geschenk von ihrem Bruder, okay.
I
Also
hope to see
alles.
them all someday.
Ich glaube nicht, dass du den wieder siehst, weil er tot ist.
King's Landing.
sie weiß es wohl noch nicht.
I wonder if it's sunny at Ironrath today.
Also sie scheint nicht sehr glücklich hier zu sein. So, ich glaube, jetzt ist es der Brief, wo sie erfährt, dass ihr Bruder, ihr Vater und noch jemand tot ist.
It troubles me to even ask this of you, but you must appeal to Lady Marjorie to intervene on our behalf. She is our best hope, and can be a powerful ally, especially now when your family so desperately needs her help.
Okay.
Hat's gerade geklopft oder so? Also ihre Mutter hat ja auch nicht gerade viel.
One moment.
Oh, sorry, milady. I didn't mean to disturb you. I can come back later if you'd like.
Lassen wir ihn
No,
mal
it's
rein.
fine. Come in.
Begging your pardon, milady, but you all right? If you don't mind my asking, you seem rather upset.
I'm just worried about my family.
Ah, letter from home, is it?
It's kind of you to ask.
Of course, milady. You've always been kind to me.
Please hurry if you can. Lady Marjorie will be here any minute.
Of course, milady.
Der sieht ja mal schlimm zugerichtet
You
aus.
work for Lady Marjorie? I may be wrong, but it seems like you do.
Perhaps you should come back later.
Of course, milady.
Lady Marjorie, you're early.
I was hoping there would be time for us to talk. Come, there's something we must discuss.
Irgendwas diskutieren. Aha.
From the day you arrived in Highgarden, I've thought of you more as a friend than as my handmaiden. A dear friend, in fact.
Thank you, my lady.
And you know how I feel about what's happened to your family. I feel your pain as if it were my own. What you've suffered is beyond imagining. And your poor family as well.
My family wrote me, my lady.
I don't doubt they must be overcome with grief. But you must not despair. We will get through this together. You must understand there are limits to what I can say, especially here in King's Landing, now that I am to be queen. To have a handmaiden from the north whose family fought for Robb Stark. It raises questions at a time I can least afford. Cersei herself cornered me this morning outside the Royal Sept. She mentioned the northern girl in my service, and she painted you a traitor. She was very pleased with herself. Her face was full of mirth as she said it.
I'm not a traitor.
Of course not. It's only an excuse to torment you, and by extension, me. She demands an audience. She wants an apology of some sort. For what, I don't know, but she's waiting for us now, and I promised I would bring you to her. I wouldn't ask this of you if it were not important. I cannot afford any conflict with Cersei with the wedding so near.
What do I say?
Find a way to appease her. Humor her. Tell her what she wants to hear. See if the Queen Regent is ready to receive us.
Also wir sollen jetzt mit der Königin reden und sie denkt, wir wären ein Verräter.
You'll be fine. I know you will. You may feel one thing, but you must say another.
Good luck.
Oh. Juhu. Rumdiskutieren.
Oh, wir sind wohl im Haus Lannister.
You can do this.
Sieht so aus. Aber es war klar, dass der im Spiel auch
Ah,
kommen wird.
Lady Marjorie. Aren't you looking lovely this evening?
Ohne den wäre es nur halb so cool.
Lord Tyrion. Your Grace? With your permission, allow me to introduce Lady Mira of House Forestster.
Your Grace.
The girl knows her courtesies. Impressive. You may rise.
House Forestster is a northern house loyal to the king.
Are they?
I beg your pardon, Your Grace.
I wasn't talking to you. I want to hear from the girl. Is your family loyal to the king?
Perhaps you should ask the new Lord Forestster.
He's not here, is he? She is. The girl can speak for her house.
Yes, Your Grace. To the one true king.
The one true kid. Yet she didn't say which. The girl is clever.
She only meant...
I don't care what she meant. I care what she said. I won't stand for impertinence from a girl of the North.
If you would give her the chance to explain...
Perhaps she can explain why the Foresters have been loyal bannermen to House Stark for centuries. A house of traitors.
They are noble, not traitors, Your Grace.
Noble? Perhaps once. For a northern house. But now they're merely dead. Is your house willing to swear fealty to your new liege lord, Roose Bolton?
Roose Bolton also served the Starks, Your Grace.
And proved his loyalty to the crown by bringing their house to a swift and sudden end. Old allegiances are not easily abandoned. But now that the war is over, we must look to rebuild and forge new alliances. There are ships and shields to be built, and Joffrey will need a steady supply of ironwood for his armies. I'm told there are others who would happily serve that purpose, but I trust we can rely on House Forestster.
Forster Ironwood does seem rather unique.
Our talent is unrivaled, Your Grace. Forester Ironwood is highly sought after in the Seven Kingdoms.
So I'm told. It would be a shame to see it fall into the hands of another house. I imagine you'd do almost anything to prevent that from happening, wouldn't you? Ask any Lannister, and they'd do whatever was necessary to save Casterly Rock. It would be unfortunate to see another house lay claim to what's yours.
Ist ja gar nichts.
Or nothing, perhaps. It's hard to tell either way.
What would you have the girl do, Cersei? It's not as if she fought beside the Starks, wielding a battle axe for the Northern Army.
It raises an interesting question, I suppose. Can we truly blame those who end up on the wrong side of the war? Our dear Marjorie here was betrothed to Renly Baratheon on the false assumption that he would one day rule the Seven Kingdoms. Can we fault her for her mistake? Should she be held accountable?
I won't judge her, Your Grace. I wasn't there. I didn't face her decisions.
Aren't you a delightful girl? If only one could flit through life without ever holding an opinion of their own.
If there's a point to this, I hope you find it quickly.
Loyalty can be such a hard thing to define. This city alone is filled with all sorts of ambitious opportunists looking to reinvent themselves, pretending to be something they're not. Who knows what lurks within their hearts? You are a girl from the north, here in service to Lady Marjorie. One can only assume her interests are yours. Yet loyalty to a king, that must be absolute, beyond question. And if your loyalties were to become conflicted between your king and the very person whom you serve, what would you do then?
I'm sure she would...
Let the girl answer the question. Go on.
The king, of course.
Well said. I was beginning to worry you didn't have your priorities straight.
She is a threat to the crown, isn't she? The most dangerous handmaiden in all of King's Landing.
I'm not quite sure what to make of her. Not surprising, I suppose, for a northern girl, but not very encouraging either. I'd like a word with you, if I may.
Of course, Your Grace.
I'll walk you out. This may come as a surprise, but I met your father once, at the tourney at Lannisport. Even then he didn't trust Roose Bolton. We only spoke briefly, but your father struck me as an honorable man. You have my condolences for his loss. These would be trying times for your family, even under the best of circumstances.
Forgive me for saying it, but the Boltons have no honor.
Roose Bolton has many unique qualities. Honor is not one of them. That certainly took courage. To so publicly declare your loyalty to Joffrey for all to hear. Poor Lady Marjorie was humiliated, although Cersei seemed quite pleased. It was quite the first impression. I, of course, found it all highly entertaining.
I did it for Lady Marjorie.
Rather odd, if that's what she asked of you. But I'm sure she has your best interests at heart. My sister and I have our differences. She takes great pleasure in her little charades. I take mine in thwarting them. We must find our amusements where we can. She threatened to give your ironwood to another house. It is the Master of Coin who decides such matters. The crown needs boats. Boats need wood, and I speak for the crown in this regard. Not her.
You can help my family.
I suppose the crown could be persuaded to secure ironwood from House Forestster. Lady Marjorie might not look favorably on such an alliance, and it would infuriate Cersei. Although what would be amusing for me might prove rather dangerous for you and your house. Are you willing to risk that? It may be far too dangerous.
It's a risk I'm willing to take, Lord Tyrion. Please.
You are a brave girl, aren't you? I'll consider it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I promised Sansa I would join her for dinner tonight. 3 beautiful bottles of Dornish wine await my arrival. The mere thought of them makes me thirsty already.
I hope we meet again.
Nothing would make Cersei happier. Until then, be careful. This is not the North. King's Landing can be a nest of vipers to the uninitiated.
So, wir haben mit dem kleinen Typ irgendwas ausgemacht. Ich habe ihn vergessen.
Mira, I was worried.
Tyrion, okay.
How was it? Cersei has a way of looking at you as though you're nothing. It's more than a little intimidating.
I'd rather not discuss it, if you don't mind.
Of course not. It must have been horrible. But at least it's over now. Lady Marjorie has spent the entire day working on seating arrangements for the wedding. Of course, you and I are seated way at the back, here with the 4th cousins and the 9th-born sons. Ah, Sir Jaime. I wouldn't mind tarnishing that white cloak of his.
Sarah!
What? It's true. And Oberyn Martell, the Red Viper. I'm told he has a paramour, which I doubt is Dornish for wife.
Put it back.
We're just having a bit of fun. It's probably for the best. I've heard he's a bit perverse. Perhaps Lady Marjorie could make the right introductions. Who knows? We might meet our future husbands. Although, marrying a king, I can only imagine what that would be like. Would you marry Joffrey if it meant you'd become queen? He does have a certain look about him, and he's always treated Lady Marjorie well.
I'd marry anyone if it helped my family.
Right, of course. Well, I would marry him. Imagine the power you would have as Queen of the 7 Kingdoms. I might even allow you to be my handmaiden. Let's see, who else should we marry off? Brienne of Tarth and Tyrion Lannister. What a perfect match! Sir Bronn and...
What are you doing? Well? Sarah?
I'm sorry, my lady.
As am I. We shouldn't have been messing about.
This is not a game. It's a battle plan. Allies and enemies can be made with every move. Yet they say it is men who are powerful. The Queen was pleased by your display, Mira. I'm just glad it's over. King's Landing can be exhausting sometimes. There's always someone to please or some perceived slight to smooth over. I fear it will only get worse when I am queen.
Once they know your true heart, the lords and ladies will have no choice but to love you.
Do you agree?
People are not always so easy to please. If you showed Cersei your true heart, she would stab it with a fork.
You learn very quickly. Your words to Cersei were brave, but I know you must fear what the Boltons might do to your family. I do appreciate your willingness to appease her, as difficult as it may have been.
Thank you, my lady. There's been something on my mind. Something important.
Fragen wir um Hilfe.
I did have a favor to ask of you in return.
Whatever you wish to say, you can say it in front of Sarah. There are no secrets between us.
It's about my family.
I trust her. Go on. Ask.
I received a letter from my family. I fear my family will suffer if Ramsay is left to do as he likes. But if a raven could be sent to the Boltons to let them know House Forestster has the protection of the crown. Ramsay Snow will arrive at Ironrath within the week. I would never ask this of you if it weren't so urgent.
That is no small request, especially now. Joffrey knows only too well your family fought for the Starks, and now you would have me ask him to intervene. Is the situation that dire?
You can't, my lady. King Joffrey won't like it. Just think how he turned on Lady Sansa. My mother feels it is urgent, my lady. She's unfamiliar with King's Landing and its politics. I hope you can understand that.
Very well. I'll make your request, but I cannot promise anything.
Thank you, my lady. I will send a raven to my family at once.
So, ich würde sagen, das war's für heute. Ein bisschen sehr viel Information. Und alles habe ich auch nicht so verstanden, außer, außer dass sie irgendwie versucht, unserer Familie zu helfen, wenn das klappt, aber sie kann es nicht versprechen.
Ja, ich glaube, der Tyrion wird uns auch helfen.
Ja. Und dass es wieder um irgendeine Hochzeit geht und sie versuchen, indem sie gezielt Familien zueinander zu setzen, dass sie Allianzen bilden oder irgendwie sowas. Ja, so habe ich das zumindest verstanden.
Stimmt schon.
So, und dann sehen wir uns in der nächsten Folge wieder. Tschüss.
Tschüss.
So, wir schwingen uns zu dem Messer hin. Wie es aussieht. Auf jeden Fall wollen wir nicht geteilt werden.